being a child actor it's horrible. I would never wish it on my worst enemy. It's full of people who want things from you, who need things from you. And I mean, I'll give you an example. I had somebody that I was supposed to work with, I was working with, who represented me, and she introduced me at 15 years old to the happy pill. And I had absolutely no idea at that time what, really drugs were or addiction was, and she would give me this happy pill before I walked down the red carpet so that I would be peppy and into the interviews, and I had no idea what door that would open for me, when it came to addiction. Probably when I was 13. I think there were several parties that I went to that I was served alcohol, no problem. I didn't even ask for it. It was just, offered. And the people that I was with, who were again supposed to be protecting me, were hammered and drunk, and it was 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was in a club, and I was going, I'm not supposed to be here, this is not a place for me. But at that age, I also felt like I was so much older, I didn't get a chance to be a kid. But I did have like a life outside of that, and they weren't doing that. My friends weren't doing that, and I was trying to fit into that world, and it was so different. And I knew probably about 12, 13 years old that I was just, this was too much for any kid. There were a lot of tears. And then I felt I was having an identity crisis because I didn't know who I was. I didn't know which world I fit into. And at that time, I didn't fit into any world. I think it was just my social anxiety that really, really got me. And I saw other people around me self-medicate through things like that with alcohol. And so you try it and it works, or you think it works, and then it gets out of hand and out of control. But that's a habit that formed for me. As I got older, it became something that I almost couldn't live without. After I had my daughter, and I went through postpartum, which, I had no idea where my addiction started and postpartum started, and where they connected. I didn't know where one started and one ended. And I was just self-medicating. Never even thought about going to a doctor, never thought about, getting on antidepressants or anything like that. It was me and the bottle. It was alcohol and it was opiates. It became opiates. And there is an epidemic, as you know, an opiate epidemic, and it's really taking people out. But it makes you feel good, and you're like grasping for anything to make you feel happy, and it's usually just for a moment, and then all of a sudden you're sad again, and you're not just sad, but you're feeling worse than you even did before, and it just becomes this horrible cycle. This cycle of just self-destruction. It's just such a hard habit to break because I was stuck on this show for 10 months out of the year, 12 to 20 hours a day, playing this very dramatic character that was constantly going through the same things that I was going through in real life.
I struggle with depression, and I'm trying to get it under control.
So when I got home, I didn't have a chance to deal with what I was really going through. I got myself, to treatment. I finally made that call and said, I need help. I need to go somewhere. And I've been several places, and every place, I took something from and would get a little bit better and would slide back down, get a little bit better. And then finally I realized, I think what was at the core of it was this unresolved trauma. I found a place that literally ripped me open and then put me back together again. And I had to unpack everything and all these memories that came up that I didn't even remember, that were suppressed. I remember sitting there and at the treatment facility and going, I feel content for the first time, and I have the ability to choose to laugh today, to choose to smile today, to choose to have fun today. And it slowly got better and better and better and better, and I realized that was worth fighting for.